Listen.
Hello and welcome to NVC, IGN's Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Casey DeFreitas, and we've been gone for a long time, and I'm super happy to be back. I'm sorry we were gone for 2 whole weeks. Hopefully this episode might make up for it. We're going to be looking at 2020 as a whole in the future. And today I'm joined by Brian Altano.
Hello. Happy
Tom
New Year.
Marks.
Hello.
And Per Schneider.
Who are you people?
I know, right? It's like I don't even recognize
Is
you
that
guys.
French?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I took French in middle school,
You
and
did?
they gave everyone French names.
Brilliant.
They just called me Bruno.
Bruno?
Yeah. It
All
was
right.
odd.
Bruno.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah.
I
Casey was allergic
Tom.
to that joke.
Yeah. As were we all, but at varying levels.
But it's fine. It's fine now. I thought it wasn't a good joke, Brian. I'm sorry. But hey, welcome back. How was everyone's holiday?
I thought it was going to be something funny like brioche or something.
Okay,
All right.
let it go, everyone. Can we talk about Nintendo now?
Oh, this...
It's a Nintendo show.
God, you guys are rough.
Well, before we get to looking at the future, let's talk about some really small news. Maybe not. Who knows? This episode is coming out after the maybe small or not small news, and it's a Pokemon Direct. And I am rusty using these buttons, but I got it. There's a Pokemon Direct that's going to be 20 minutes. It's actually the longest Pokemon Direct ever by
What?
at least,
The longest ever?
Yeah, it's usually, I think the longest before this was like 16 minutes. I could be wrong, but it was something between 15 and 19, and that's not 20, which makes this the longest.
But the game is out. What could there be to talk about?
So historically, they release like Pokemon Bank and compatibility with Pokemon Bank the January after the games in the fall come out. So I'm assuming they're going to be talking about Pokemon Home, which will be the app that replaces Pokemon Bank, which lets you store your Pokemon and then transfer your old Pokemon into the new game. So you can get Pokemon like from Pokemon Let's Go and Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home and then bring them over to Pokemon Sword and Shield from there.
And will they change their mind and like be working on the national decks now? Or
Probably not.
That's just wishful thinking.
Who knows? We might get a few Pokemon that aren't in the Sword and Shield national decks as it is right now, but we don't know, and it'll probably be event-only Pokemon. Like maybe we'll be getting Melton and Melmetal, maybe a couple of legendaries. These are all, I'm just guessing. I have no idea. But that Direct happened this morning if you're watching on June 9th, which is a Thursday. So look on IGN.com for all of the information about that. I know that we will have a very expansive wiki page on Pokemon Home and how all of that works, assuming that's what it is about. But I'm assuming we might also get a teaser for something else like Detective Pikachu for Switch, which they announced last year.
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon Sleep, or maybe a new Let's Go game.
Hopefully there'll be a Magikarp jumping minigame revealed too.
Yes.
That was a fun mobile game, and it was fine while it lasted. But hey, you already know the news, and we don't.
Like Nintendogs game that just has the Pokemon that you can hang out with and pet.
I would love that.
Oh.
Why haven't they done that?
They kind of did that with like Hey You Pikachu way back in the day.
Yeah.
I
that's a
loved
little
Hey You
bit.
Pikachu.
That didn't work though.
It worked.
I mean,
It
fine.
didn't do it. Like I believed the microphone didn't have any technology inside. You were just like talking to it. It was like Pika Pika. You're like it hurt
No,
me.
it
Yeah.
totally.
Oh,
It
it was a
totally.
trick.
You would
Yeah.
you would say profanity in the microphone, and Pikachu would get mad.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Maybe
you say
you
curse.
would do that. I didn't curse at my
Yeah, but I
Pikachu.
was-
I, I cursed at my Pikachu because I wanted to see it get mad and use Thunderbolt inside of the house because that's a fun thing to watch that I would never want to happen in real actual life. But yeah, Hey You
Placebo.
Pikachu, making Pikachu mad by cursing at it. Also, speaking of Pokemon, there is a little bit of other news. Just so you know, if you have Sword and Shield, it's coming up to the end of some certain events. Some will end on January 15th, so this is your last chance at getting Gigantamax Butterfree.
What? That sounds like a candy bar.
Gigantamax Butterfree, where there's no butter and all the max calories. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
No butter and max calories?
That sounds
I'm in on
terrible.
this.
Why would you ever want to do that to yourself?
bulk
But
up.
this event is just increasing the chances for these particular Gigantamax Pokemon to show up in max raid battles if you have Nintendo Switch Online services. So Gigantamax Butterfree, and then if you had Pokemon Shield, Corviknight, and if you have Pokemon Sword, it's Dreadnought. This is also your last chance to redeem your mystery gift for Gigantamax Meowth. You don't need Nintendo Switch Online subscription for this. You just have to connect to the internet and accept a mystery gift via the internet. And then there are also mystery gift codes for various Pokeballs, which you can find on our wiki page called Mystery Gift Codes List on IGN Sword and Shield Pokemon Wiki.
I think my favorite thing about Pokemon is how much I completely understand all of it.
This was like a timeshare commercial.
This is something that like
I'm glad you're back, Casey. We couldn't do this without you.
But this isn't like a unique to Pokemon thing either, because Borderlands 2, and I think Borderlands 3 is doing a lot of this too with their shift codes.
Yeah, they
Borderlands 2
expire.
is doing this, and it kind of drives me crazy when games do this, when they're like, here's all this cool exclusive stuff that we could just give you, but instead find the codes.
But it was
and
fun too.
install
Like
them. And
I Borderlands 2, I definitely chased the shift codes around. And
I did
not
as
saying-
well.
to get a little
I'm not
presents.
saying I'm not complaining about free stuff from devs. It's just so funny that they like essentially demand engagement in order to get that stuff. It's like having like a Safeway or like a grocery store club card that gives you like 10% off of stuff. It's like, just give me the discount. Like, why do I need my name?
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon has a history of having like Safeway club card exclusive Pokemon too. So it's like they used to make you go into stores and for events and.
You know what, Brian? There's an app for that now. That will tell you when there's an event nearby that you can go to pick up your new exclusive event Pokemon,
This
like
really
Mewtwo at Target.
This really is a timeshare commercial.
You're just making Brian sad. What else you got, Casey?
What else do we got? So, hey, did you know there is another rumor for, you guessed it, the Nintendo Switch Pro?
Oh,
Done.
Yeah.
Who would
I'm
have thought? Yeah. This time, there's a Taiwanese electronics newspaper called Digitimes reported that Nintendo will start production on an updated Switch soon with a release for mid-2020. Is this correct? Who knows? But there's a lot of websites covering it now, so I figured we would cover it.
Can I do
too.
my dad speech?
Do it.
Yeah.
There is, looking at Nintendo's past, there's absolutely an upgraded model for the Nintendo Switch coming out. We knew that the moment the first one shipped, and we've obviously seen the kind of downscaled upgraded model already, and so it is absolutely in the cards that there'll be a Switch Pro. Everything you've heard so far about what it will be is just speculation, and you have to watch out because rumors sometimes have this habit, especially in the tech industry, of being repeated. And so it's possible that this newspaper, this Taiwanese electronics newspaper, is citing something that the Wall Street Journal Japan reported a year ago, and it just kind of like the news regurgitates and renews itself.
Yeah.
Well, and that was also, you know, like you said, rumors snowball in weird ways where a small true nugget of something gets turned into a bunch of other things through assumptions. Like people were saying there was going to be a Switch Pro out by last summer, and then what we actually got was that slight improvement to the base Switch model with the longer battery life, and that could have been the Switch Pro that analysts or inside industry people heard, oh, there's a new version of the Switch coming, and then that turned into an upgraded version of the Switch, that turned into a Switch Pro, and then that got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Like I'm when the Switch Lite came out, I was like, we're finally done with Switch model rumors.
I felt
we
the
can
same exact
rest
way.
easy.
No.
And now this rumor comes up, and I'm like, I just want to go to bed.
We were
I'm
like
done.
3 days into the year, and they're like, guess what? We're doing it again, starting that factory back up.
But sometimes a company will plan ahead or hold something, right, and
Right,
delay it, and
of
it'll
course.
sit around, and it was done for a while. The Switch Pro rumors, at the time they came out, there was such specificity around what it will do and what chipsets it will use. You could tell it was bull, because like the Switch was doing really well in the marketplace. It didn't make sense to upgrade the system at that point in time. It was selling well, and any upgrade would mean less money for Nintendo.
Right.
And so whatever the rumors were, it will happen that in the end it will do 4K, but it didn't do it last year, right? And like the chipset that was rumored will absolutely be different by the time that it comes out because technology progresses, chipsets change and get cheaper, and so we'll see what it'll be. Hopefully it'll be a sizable upgrade where we get games running smoother and at higher resolutions, and hopefully the screen will be nicer.
Yeah, the reality is that we are getting two brand new, very expensive next-gen consoles, presumably this year in November, and so Nintendo will have to counter with something.
Yeah.
Whether that is Breath of the Wild 2, whether that is more Pokemon, whether that is a price drop in a bundle, whether that's a brand new revision, even just like, I don't know, make a Zelda Switch Lite, something. They have to do something.
I think the interesting question around this topic is, would they release a upgraded Switch system against the other two consoles? Like, my take on that is that's not something Nintendo does, because that's like a Cold War kind of escalation of weaponry kind of setup where it's like there's no way you will visually beat the other two consoles or have a version of a third-party title available on the system that will compare favorably to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, right? There's no way.
Right.
Like, we're talking about a smaller device that is also going to be cheaper. And so for me, that sounds like if they do an upgrade, they'll do something by the end of summer that is a step up, a pro edition that does something better, or they'll do something, the following year.
I'm thinking something like how the new 3DS was. It was definitely an upgrade. It could definitely run games that the old 3DS couldn't, but it wasn't a brand new piece of hardware.
And that was from a consumer perspective, that was a failure when it came to hardware power, right? It's not like suddenly developers were inspired to create games specifically for the new 3DS. Absolutely. Like, if you look at Nintendo's history of upgrades, that was probably the least supported console from a graphics hardware processing power.
There was like a handful, the smallest handful, like
fewer than 64DD games.
Yeah, right. I don't know what animals have the fewest. It's like a Simpsons handful of how many games that were actually exclusive to that platform that ran specifically with that power. I do think they will do something to sort of nudge the general public to be like, hey, we're still here.
Of course.
We have this kick-ass system. Yeah. It's portable. It's different than what the other guys are doing. We're diagonally moving in a different direction from where they are. Also, we have this gigantic library of games, even like a player's choice lineup refresh or something like that could sort of like get back in the eyes of the general public. We saw that one of the biggest news stories this week was that PlayStation announced the logo for the PS5. And everyone here scoffed, justifiably so, because we're like, of course, it's the same fonts as the PS4. It's the most
revolutionary, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. It is the most liked photograph from a video game company in Instagram history. And you're like, wait, why? Because the general public who isn't cued in on all of this stuff every single day goes, oh, they're making a new PlayStation? Great. Yeah, I loved the last one, so I'll get the new one. So I think that you have to swing big this fall and do something to sort of get the mainstream refreshed and reminded that the Nintendo Switch is this awesome thing. Yeah. And it's got this huge library of games. They're not splintering ecosystems like the new consoles might do eventually. It's going to be getting new games, conceivably for the next few years. So,
but if you look at Nintendo history, like a graphical hardware arms race thing is not something they traditionally do.
No.
They're way more clever than that.
Well,
right?
You're right, but traditionally they didn't really rely on third-party support in any meaningful capacity, and that's actually changed this generation a lot. Yeah. And so I think that we've gotten a couple of big games have made their way onto Switch through black magic. Yeah. Somehow they are able to run on your portable screen. You can play them on an airplane or a train or whatever. That's going to vanish pretty quickly once the next wave of next-gen games start coming out, and it just that spread gets too wide. It's going to be this Grand Canyon divide between the graphical power in these systems. So I do think it's in their interest to keep that momentum going with third-party parity and do something that can keep those there. I don't think you'll see Cyberpunk there or GTA 6, but I do think that stuff like the Wolfensteins and the Dooms, I want there to be room for stuff like that to keep appearing on Switch, even if it's blurry and the frame rate's worse, whatever it is. Just having the option is super cool.
It would be so sad.
It's I think it's a good option to have for Nintendo fans.
So maybe we will be expecting a Switch Pro this year. Hopefully, I think from what I've heard from you guys, it's to be expected.
To me, having a rumor that there's going to be a Switch Pro at some point is like saying, hey guys, I heard a rumor that sometime in the March or April window, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. And then in the May and June window, there's going to be another Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
No
maybe
way.
2 months after that, there's going to be, it's like, yeah.
Or that the next
probably
PlayStation will be the PlayStation 5.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably going to happen.
Couldn't
It's
have
just a matter of
predicted
It's probably gonna
Xbox
happen.
Series X, though.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But we do know some of what to expect this year, including at least 15 games. And I assume there's going to be a lot more. Recently, there was a list of brand new Nintendo Switch SKUs. SKUs? SKUs?
SKUs.
Games.
Like an Italian grandmother.
Game serial codes for inventory tracking for GameStop. And there's also some rumors about at least 3 more Wii U ports coming. Who knows? But we do know that Tokyo Mirage Sessions Fire Emblem Encore is coming out on January 17th. Now, this is the first game of this year that we think is big and is coming out soon. And as we go through this list of games...
Do you think it's big?
I'm excited for it.
In terms of what we have dates for, especially at the beginning of the year, the Switch, it's up there.
Especially after all of those new Fire Emblem fans we got
Yeah.
from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
So, but as I go through this list and we talk about these games, I want to get everyone's score on a score from 1 to 10 to how excited you are to play this game.
1 to 10 Brian Altano faces.
Yeah, 1 to 10 Brian Altano
Okay,
faces.
I'm into that.
Used that as a
Yeah, we
metric.
did. But this year, it's got to be on IGN's brand new review score table.
Scale.
No 0.5s, no points, just
Okay.
solid numbers on the new point scale.
Thank you, because I don't want to see a half of my face.
I mean,
That's right. No,
I think it sounds entertaining.
Yeah. Brian Altano is a whole thing.
That's right. Thank you.
Whole Brian Altano's here only.
Brian Altano, comma, whole thing. TM.
So Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore is a re-release of a Wii U game. It's a 2016 port with a whole bunch of new extra content and some costumes from our new favorite Fire Emblem characters from Three Houses, with some more, all the DLC already baked in, extras, more songs, and a whole bunch more. And I haven't been able to play it yet, but I am very excited to, and I think this is going to be a sleeper hit for me this year.
I would say in terms of my excitement, I would give this 0 out of 10.
Oh my
Brian Altano
goodness.
faces.
Wow.
Yes. This is this like perfect
Somewhere a little
combination.
gold farb falls over and dies.
That's okay. There's more games for him then.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no interest in this game whatsoever.
7 for me because I didn't get to spend that much time with it when it first came out, and I love Fire Emblem, I love Persona too, and it just came out at an inopportune time for me to play it, and there was just something where I just didn't want to play it at the time, and so it fills a gap right now, but only a 7 because it's a port and not something new.
I'm an 8 excitement because I never played the original, and I'm very excited that people are happy it's coming. But I'm an 8 in theory, and probably in practice, I'm more like a 6 because like I'm probably not actually going to find the time to
Right.
play it immediately.
But it is like on the bow tie scale. I feel like you'll love it once you start playing it.
This scale. Well, I do. I've heard incredible things. Andrew
It's
Goldfarb.
Marxian.
Andrew Goldfarb, now at Sucker Punch, who used to be our news editor, he was saying this is like one of his favorite RPG combat systems ever. So I'm excited to see what all the fuss is about.
Yep.
Yeah, and I also love Fire Emblem. I also love Persona. I also didn't get to play it in 2016. 2016 was my desert year of video games. I did not play much except for Pokemon and Final Fantasy 14. So this is it. I'm excited. I'm an 8 out of 10, and I will probably remain an 8 out of 10 because it seems like my kind of game.
Fine, I'll give it a 1.
It's okay if it's a 0. You don't have to change on our board.
Technically
give
the
zeros on our
IGN score scale does not have 0.
Okay, so I'll
Okay,
give
so
it a
it
1.
has to be at 1.
We gave Olympic hockey a 0
Right.
on the N64.
Nagano 98?
Because we're being bastards. Yeah, because it was just a reskin of Gretzky. And we felt it was so lazy they were being predatory, so we said we'll give this game a new review when they make a new game.
And
And then we gave Spinal Tap, the movie, an 11.
Really?
Yep, it's
That's
in the
amazing.
system. It's a hack to our review system.
Oh, that's
If you-
amazing.
If you look at the scores, it says 11.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Anyway,
This was
Some
before
trivia
Dan
for you.
Stapleton.
he doesn't know, don't tell him.
Well,
It's still in there as an 11.
luckily, he probably doesn't watch the show.
Yeah.
So we're safe. Don't tell him. Next is Darksiders Genesis coming out on February 14th. It is also a port of a game that came out last year, and it originally scored for 8.7. Tom, have you played this game?
No, not
I'm
yet.
sorry, I just look at you and just like, hey, I assume you've played this.
I have it on PC because it is coming to consoles this February, but it was already out on PC, and I've heard very good things. And I want to. It's just
It's not classic Darksiders.
So it's not. It is a
kinda like
spin-off.
Zelda-like.
RPG. It's almost like Diablo.
Diablo mode.
Not without
Oh,
without
yeah,
the
yeah.
same loot system or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's not the replayability and like kind of mindlessness of Diablo, and I say that with love for Diablo.
Yeah.
But it is. Yeah, I'm really excited to try this
human-like.
co-op. It's very. The Switch is a surprisingly successful platform for games like this. These
Yeah.
top-down, with friends, hack and slashy games. I wasn't maybe expecting, for not any kind of like real reason, the Switch to be such a popular place for these. But it seems like it'll be.
No, it's
if
a great
The port's good. It'll
couch
I'm
co-op
excited.
system. I played a ton of Diablo and 9 Parchments on Switch.
Yeah, right.
Like in co-op, and it's a blast. I was tracking this one. I forgot that it was coming to Switch so soon, so that makes me very happy. I'll give this 8 out of 10.
It's 7 on my hype scale. 7 Brian Altano.
It's about 6 on mine.
I don't know. I'm like a 6 or 7 too, but also
Because you already played it.
it's probably even lower because I have it on PC and have not touched it yet. So it's probably like I'm way overscoring that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I will probably not play it unless I get it for extremely cheap. Because I have Diablo 3 and I never finished it. So
That's okay. It's got a lot of stuff in it.
And probably the biggest game coming out this year that we actually has a concrete release date, Animal Crossing New Horizons, out on March 20th. It's
11.
delayed from last year.
Oh,
11 out of 10. I'm doing it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I cannot possibly be more excited for Animal Crossing.
That's
New
so
Horizons.
weird. So
I mean-
I'm more cautious. I'm at an 8 because I fear that it is going to be so similar to the last one that after a while I'll be like, I'm gonna
It's been
collect
so
the freaking
long.
pink furniture again.
The thing is, it's been so long since the last one that I want to get all that pink
right.
furniture again. I want to get the modern furniture. The
So 11, 8, just to get
I'm
the
10,
numbers out.
straight
10.
up. I'm so
I
excited.
think I'm a 9.
Okay. So I'm the most skeptical.
Wouldn't it be wild if the only 2 things IGN has ever given an 11 were Spinal Tap and Animal Crossing?
yeah, that'd be weird.
That'd be very strange.
You know, I changed. I'm back down to an 8.
Oh wow!
Whoa.
What happened?
Look, I'm
10.
I'm going to 12.
bounced.
The average is maintained. Everybody, calm down.
I've always really loved Animal Crossing, but I don't see myself getting as sucked into it as I did with the DS versions.
How come?
I guess I just have other games that I play consistently already.
Can I counter that argument?
Yeah.
You will get sucked into it because you will be surrounded by people who will not shut up about it.
You're right.
Me. And I
Okay.
will walk to your desk multiple times a day and I'll be like, do you have pineapples? And you'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll be like, I'm not leaving until you give me a pineapple. And then you'll open up your Switch and you'll get into it and you'll start playing. And I'm like,
That sounds annoying. That's not
Yeah.
gonna make me more hyped that you're gonna like
And then,
beg us for pineapple.
no,
and
this is
other
a very
fruit?
communal game. Like the more people who are around you who are playing it, the more
He's-
your friends that are
he's
playing
right.
it, the more it really clicks.
Also, he'll only need to ask for pineapples once, and then he can grow his own pineapples.
I know, but
Give
I'm
a man
not
a
gonna cover
pineapple,
that.
and he'll plant a pineapple tree, and
I-
that doesn't work that way.
From what I've seen of the game, it looks cute. I hope there's enough innovation that there's interest in the dialogue with the animals, because I've played every single game in the series, and that's kind of where I'm a little tired. That I understand I can see the machine, I can see the matrix, I can see how it works and how the dialogue will go, and I'm worried that it's going to be a return to that, and I'm kind of bored by that. But
I just hope we can time travel.
But like, if there's a little bit more to it, and if they expanded, what you can do in the game, or like growing things, I love that sort of gameplay loop.
I don't care about growing flowers and stuff like that. I want to get furniture. I want to hit the villagers in the head with the net.
Customization of the town stuff. Like I made like fancy pathways and stuff.
Oh, I like all that. Yeah, I like making textures and patterns. And
Exactly.
I think the last time I played Animal Crossing, I'm also just notoriously terrible at interior design. So maybe I'm just intimidated by having
Florida
to by having to impress all of my coworkers. It's not. Is it? I don't. Maybe. I
There
don't
is
know.
that element of it
Florida
that they
is-
added in the 3DS version where you
Kitschy.
could go into that like weird house matrix and look at all of your friends'
Yeah.
homes.
Love that stuff.
And then
Spot
like
pass thing.
Yeah, and then buy stuff that you saw. It was that very like jealous neighbor thing. You'd be like, you got that stereo system?
Yeah.
I want that stereo system. And you'd walk in and you'd be like, I'm gonna buy that stereo system. And then you would leave. That was great. I love Animal Crossing. It's so good, you guys.
I'm gonna make sure that I
Okay.
have
13 out of
cockroaches
10.
in my house before I invite you.
What?
I'm gonna have cockroaches in my house before I invite you.
We
I
gotta,
can't
Zoo.
I won't be able to see your cockroaches.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
we gotta stop talking about Animal Crossing, or else our score system is gonna get unreasonably high as Brian keeps adding one.
14 out of 10.
See?
Okay. Doom 64 is coming on March 20th.
64 out of 10.
Brian, you're going outside of our new IGN rating system.
Sorry, I don't review things. I don't understand how this works.
I'll start 5 out of 10. It's a good version of Doom. I reviewed this for IGN.
You
when
did?
it
I was
first
just
came
going to
out.
make the joke. Did you review this for IGN? But of course
So
you
He
did.
gave it a
It's actually-
7.4 out of 10.
I like it, but I know, like, look, when you go back and play these games, this is a game where you couldn't look up and down. It's a very competent version of Doom that actually departs in many ways. It's very colorful. It's got like a super weird soundtrack. But I know after a while, I'll be like, okay, I remember this, and there's not enough variety for me to stick with it. That's why
Right.
I'm curious to look at it running on the Switch.
We'll see. We'll see what that is.
What do you guys think?
It's been a really long time since I played this game, so I'm definitely
11.
gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna do that thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I have fond memories of this, and then I spend the $20 on it or whatever, and realize that it's not very fun.
Okay.
But I'll say a 6.
Okay.
If I may, real quick, I'm not excited about this at all. I don't care about it literally at all. I'm more excited for Doom
Minus
Eternal.
bow ties.
The 1997 review by Per Schneider of Doom 64 is kind of great for this one section where he goes,
Does it have a rhyme?
I don't think so.
No.
It says the most shortcomings, which are broken out in their own section back in
We
1997.
were very robotic with
The most obvious problem with Doom 64 is that we've seen it all before. Maybe not in this quality, but the gameplay and concept are hardly impressive anymore. While playing, I yearned for the freedom that Turok or Mario 64 offered.
Yeah. Right.
Well, if you felt like that then.
I love it.
What do you think 40 years would add to that?
Yeah. But it was true. It was a relic back then because games had already let you look up and down.
Right.
And like this shipped without multiplayer too. Like
Yeah.
it didn't have multiplayer and
And they
you know,
didn't even patch it in afterwards because they literally couldn't.
we were going nuts with like multiplayer.
Little
Tom,
piece
so
of
yours
history.
is a 1.
No, yeah, I don't care at all. I think it's cool that
1
it's
as well?
happening, but I
No, it
don't
was
have any
5 for me.
interest.
5?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
I've never played Doom 64, but it doesn't sound like
It is good.
I think you're still going to be playing Animal Crossing by then anyway. So
like
That's right.
Doom or Animal Crossing. Those are your choices for March. You got to pick one.
yeah, that's true. They launched on the same day.
And next we're getting Trials of Mana on April 24th.
Ooh.
Like a whole month of
Quote
month gap.
Jared Petty. Ooh. 9 for me on the anticipation scale. I have Seiken Densetsu 3. That's this game. On the Super Famicom, I have that the
'Cause
original cartridge.
The US never got.
We never got that version, but obviously there's the collection that translated it finally. Secret of Mana, which is number 2 in Japan, was an amazing game. And they're redoing this, and I'm really curious to see how it turns out. There is, even though I'm saying 9, I am worried about the art style. Sometimes when things get remade, they just don't look right.
Right.
So that could happen here, but like I think it's really cool that they're actually doing a 3D remake of this forgotten game.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 7 because I'm totally interested in it, but I'm cautiously optimistic, like Paris kind of alluding to over there.
I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 as well.
I'm going like 5.
Whoa.
Not that again. This is all personal opinions,
Yeah, personal
right?
opinions.
Like this is not again. Somebody called me out for saying this, but this is not me trying to yuck anyone's yum, which is again one of my favorite phrases that apparently people hadn't heard before.
It's well,
I don't know, whenever you say
in the
that-
past century.
Yeah, if you're hyped for any of these, that's awesome. It's just this one is not really one.
Whenever
that I'm
you
looking
say
to pick
yuck
up.
someone's yum, I just imagine someone like spitting in my cereal
Yeah,
or
me
something.
too.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
Now
not
it's been
trying
yucked.
to do.
Or like I'm eating something that I love and you throw up in my mouth.
What the?
That's what I hear.
what an escalation.
that is the thing I am avoiding.
Well, I'm so glad you're back.
So the imagery is right.
So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So also coming out in April, but not a specific date, is Minecraft Dungeons, which is a dungeon crawler version of Minecraft. I know Miranda Sanchez has played some demo versions last year at E3, and she was optimistic about it. I'm definitely curious. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for me.
I'm at 7 for the multiplayer aspect. I like the 4-player kind of mysterious dungeon
Yes.
crawling. It's got some Diablo elements there too. And I think Minecraft is just a fantastic game.
Right.
It's just like, it's been like 420 years since we first built little castles with our friends in it. And so I'm a little tired of the look and the setup, but I think this could be good. So 7.
I think Minecraft is a fantastic game. I think that like every other game that uses Minecraft to not be Minecraft doesn't ever really click with me.
Okay.
Story mode.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's just not really what I'm looking for in it. That said, I do love dungeon crawlers, and so I'm hopeful for this one. So I'll give this one a 6.
I think I'm like a 5 or 6 on this one too.
You hate everything.
No, it'll just
not the Tom I
It'll
know.
have to impress me basically. If
Okay.
people say it's good, I'll go and try it. But I'm not gonna go out of my way for this one unless I hear good things.
So we'll
Yes.
see with the next one whether the old Tom can come back to us or not.
I'm with Pear. The co-op with this game is what is making me most interested with it, because I know a lot of friends love Minecraft and will want to play this.
Yeah.
So
And
that might
weirdly,
be-
that's the last major Switch game that we know of that has even a release month in 2020. Everything else is TBD 2020, mid 2020.
Yeah.
It's, that all the major stuff that we know of is.
yes.
Say the next one.
The next one is Sports Story.
10.
Whoa.
Wow.
Mid 2020.
I really want to play this. This looks so great. Like, it's not a 10, like I want to play the next Mario or Zelda game 10, but it's like, I feel like this was such a fresh RPG. And I talked about this, it reminded me of the kind of classic JRPGs like Legend of the River King, Kawa no Nushitsuri. And like where they mix role-playing game with something different like fishing or sports. And like this, if it could fix some of the issues of the first one where kind of like the golf and especially the disc golf stuff got a little old by having variety in it. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm like a 9 for this one too. I'm very much looking forward to it for exactly the same reasons Pear said. It was a great game that just got old, and this game basically looks like, hey, it's going to be the same thing, but we're not going to let it get old. There's going to be a ton of different stuff you can do now, and that's I'm very excited for this.
I'm going to say 7 because I think it's going to be really fun, but I also think some of the sports will not be good because that's what happens with every game that has a lot of sports in it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. That's the problem with American sports too, is that some of your sports are no good.
Which sport do you think is going to be bad?
Opposed to football, soccer.
I don't care.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It's wasted. I can't even troll Brian.
If I cared, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be like out cheering. I would have face paint on.
We have some people in the office who care about sports.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
If you had to guess,
I told them to pack up their desks.
which is the dud sport?
Volleyball.
You
That's
think
probably a fair
Volleyball.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
could
think
be.
the baseball is going to be boring.
Really?
I think baseball is almost always boring, I feel like, in video games.
What?
Really?
Yeah, volleyball's
I think video
fun.
game baseball.
Haven't
is
you
more
played Dead or
fun
Alive
than
Beach
real
Volleyball? It's a fun video game sport.
No, I've actually never played those games.
Plus, you control every person in baseball, and Sports Story, you're only going to control one dude. So what do you just like
It's okay.
wait
It's
on
like
the
a home run
bases?
derby. Remember like Wii Sports Baseball? That
Oh,
was a
maybe.
blast.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Okay.
I think it'll be fun.
We'll see. I'm going to bring this average down and give it a 5 out of 10. Sorry, guys.
Ooh.
Huh?
I didn't play the first one.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. I should
You
give it a
didn't
shot.
play the first
I
one?
didn't. I didn't play Golf Story.
It's not a Casey like.
Yeah.
But it's
It didn't sound like it. It didn't sound like
Play
it.
the first half,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then stop.
I'll check it out. I'll see. Next, we have Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is TBD 2020, and it includes plots and games for all 9 Star Wars movies. Are you interested, Brian?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah?
I will say 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Ooh.
I have Lego game fatigue.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been. Well, what was the last one you like really like sunk your teeth into?
What was the last one that came out?
The Lego.
Played
games?
all the like Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones, whatever Star Wars.
I
is,
100%ed Jurassic World.
Jurassic
Oh.
World. I
Yeah.
played that.
I don't know what I was going
Like,
through at the time.
I'm a huge Lego fan. I have lots of sets. I have tens of thousands of Lego pieces in my house that I step on with my bare feet. But I got just a little bit bored by the general setup and the looseness of the feel of the platforming and the puzzle solving and stuff.
So my thing is that every
The Marvel stuff we played too.
Yeah. So every Lego video game, the whole thing is that like you can play through as a little kid or as an adult and just like kind of beat all the levels, get the story, blah blah blah. But if you go back and 100% them, you start unlocking all these characters, and for some worlds, that's great. Like, you know, Marvel, you get to unlock all these crazy, and then you play like something like Pirates of the Caribbean, and you're like, oh, I got.
Oh yeah, I
this-
played that too.
Yeah, I got like this
Pirate
weird
guy.
slug man, or like pirate number 60.
It's clam face.
Yeah, in Jurassic World, you start unlocking like random employees that were in the back of one shot of the second film, and you're like, I don't know who that is. But Star Wars, I love everyone in Star Wars. I want all those characters. I want Ponda Baba and Salacious Crumb and Bib Fortuna and all those Jabba the Hutt.
So I'm a 7 for the game, but 6 for the Switch version because I'm not going to play that one. I'm going to play the nicer looking one.
What? I'm gonna play it on Switch and 100%
Really?
it on the go. Yeah.
It's always like the Lego games always run a little choppy and
Really?
Lego Star Wars: The Original Trilogy is like one of my favorite Star Wars
Yep.
games ever made. Straight up, it's so good.
even
so.
the vehicle stuff.
You got me.
Nate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're still gonna be playing Animal Crossing anyway, so it's totally
Yeah, it's
understand.
fine. I'm still going to be playing Animal Crossing and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and maybe even Fire Emblem, my 3rd playthrough, Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Wow.
I
Dedication.
haven't even finished the first playthrough, so that's why I will still be on my 3rd. I know. I'm on chapter 17. What about you, Tom?
This one's like a 6 for me. I have nothing but love for the Lego games, the Lego series. I think that they exceed all expectations of what they kind of like you'd assume they are in terms of quality. but just it's a busy year, man, and
Yeah.
it's gonna. I just don't know if I'm gonna have time for it. That's all.
I'm just excited to see the new trilogy is told through one cohesive vision for the first time.
In Legos.
Whoa! Woo!
Maybe they'll make fun of
Yeah.
that.
That's fine.
I hope so.
Yeah. I liked it when they didn't speak.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope there's actually an option to just not let them talk.
Yeah, when they're just like,
No talking allowed for Legos because that's creepy.
Yeah, I don't want to hear like Harrison Ford as a
excuse
Lego.
me, the plural is legal.
Lego? Really?
Actually,
Actually.
I'm sorry.
Actually.
Please forgive me. I can leave now.
no,
Yeah, it's fine.
stick around.
I'll stick around for a little bit. For No More Heroes 3, also TBD 2020.
Yeah, I have a theory that this game will not launch this year. It feels super early. Yeah. That said, I love what Suda does. I actually really loved the last Travis Strikes Again game that came to Switch.
You love that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Never met anybody who loved that.
It was totally like I went in knowing exactly this is going to be like a 7 out of 10 kind of like bare bones arcadey style beat 'em up, and it was what I was looking for.
I think that most people's reaction was that it wasn't a full game.
Yeah. That said, like the No More Hero games are awesome. They're just like sort of a weird product of their time. And Suda's sort of having these great ambitions to bite off more than he could chew, make these open world sandbox games that ultimately don't have any sand in them. And that gets kind of difficult. And so
games.
Yeah. I hope he just like kind of plays with the limitations of his development budget and team. And he just makes something that's like tighter, quarter based action game with Travis Touchdown running around with a beam katana, slicing dudes open and shooting blood in the air. Cause that's a good time.
It's cool. Slicing people open with blood in the air.
Yeah.
Brian's definition of a good time.
6 out of 10 for me until I see more about it. Like Suda has to get me to believe.
Right.
Again.
I totally get that. I think it's
Gotta
totally fair.
believe.
I think I'm the same as you, but an 8, where it's like I'm more excited. Like I'm very excited for this one.
Okay.
But similarly, I am cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
I am.
Yep.
I'm really
hopeful.
want this to be fun.
Me too.
And I think it has the potential, especially with that trailer they showed at the Game Awards. That trick of it being a trailer for a different game and then turning into a trailer for No More.
I
Heroes.
love that.
That gave me a lot of confidence in the tone of this. And yeah, they're just gonna have to show us gameplay and prove that it can back it up with the actual.
Yeah, I really love the style and humor and like fourth wall breaking that happens in these games.
And the look
Yeah.
is. I mean, I think it speaks loads to the fact that the look of this feels just like a modern version of No More Heroes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That art style, although dated in certain regards, technically still holds up visually and conceptually. Like that's really, really cool. So I'm
And-
excited to see what that looks like in 2020 or
and you
21.
save by pooping.
There you go.
Perfect.
It's not
That's
a-
exactly how I saved my life
Not
in
a
real life.
sandbox game, it's a litter box game.
I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I have a lot of hope for it. I think it will be good, but we'll see. And so this next game, I personally am very excited about, and I know no one else cares about it.
I knew this was going to be the...
But Rune Factory 5 is TBD 2020, and I'm excited for it because it's got Harvest Moon stuff, but also dungeon crawling, monster raising, and relationship building with a splash of anime stuff. So I'm into it.
That's a case you like.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions.
It's a town.
Is it about dragons?
What is it?
What-
There
no, so-
was a dragon in Rune Factory 4.
So is it in the Harvest Moon universe?
I think it was. Gosh, I'm trying to remember.
Like, do you bring cows into the dungeon? Like,
No, so you go to the dungeon on your own and fight, and you can get equipment, and then you can like capture monsters and bring them back to your ranch and raise them and stuff.
Ooh,
but you
that
also have a
sounds fun.
farm, and you also have
So
a city, and you also have people
like
to
some
talk
sort
to.
of monster rancher.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
You played Stardew, right?
Yeah.
The Rune Factory games were kind of and this is grossly oversimplifying, but are sort of the thing that inspired Stardew to have combat in a farming game, right?
Wow.
Like Rune Factory games were the thing that mixed those two genres initially, as far as I understand it. There might have been other
Same.
games.
No,
here and
I
there,
think
but-
so as well.
Yeah.
It's a 7 for me on the anticipation meter.
Is it?
I like it.
Yeah, it's like a 7 for me too. I'm excited to see what a modern version of this looks like, or a more modern version.
Yeah, I recently played the demo of the re-release for Rune Factory 4, and it was definitely a lot like raunchier than I remember. Like the kind of like fan service anime raunchiness that I guess I was a lot more tolerant of when I was a 14-year-old. But we'll see what they do with this new modern one. I'm excited. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for me.
Sweet.
What about you, Brian?
Now that you guys
1.
have described it, I'll say 7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds cool.
I think it sounds...
We got him.
Yeah, we did. We did do it. Now we have another game that I'm also excited for. Digimon Survive. Now, Digimon Survive is a strategy RPG, but it's also a survival strategy RPG where your choices may affect things permanently in the game. We haven't really heard a whole lot. It was supposed to come out in 2019. It's coming out this year instead. I don't know how else to describe it. It has art kind of similar to Persona. I actually think it's the same artist, same people who did Cyber Sleuth.
So the animals can die forever?
I think that's the idea.
1 out of 10.
This is totally off my radar too. Like I don't
They're
want to
digital
be I don't want to
monsters.
be harsh, but I never got into the Digimon franchise at all. And I know I know people who love these games and vouch for their quality. I just never got into it. So
Do you think it was because you weren't 4 years old?
that's
The games have always been really solid, okay?
yeah. So it's a 2 out of 10 for me.
Oh man, that's
Being
fair.
honest.
Can I get wild real quick? 9.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Super into
Can you
this.
do a better
Oh my
job
God.
of
I like
explaining
how
it
he's all
for me?
quiet.
Oh yeah. No.
then suddenly
I
he's like,
think it's hard to explain, like, do a job of explaining it because they haven't put out a ton
No.
about it. What I do know is that the art style is really good looking.
It's great.
The concept, I mean, I love strategy games and tactics games, so it has me there. I'm into the Digimon world and kind of what that stuff does. And they're doing something weird and different and unexpected, which I really appreciate. I hold no illusions that this game could be a hot mess and just not work. But what they've shown me has me really, really interested. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to see what this turns out to be. And I'm very, very excited to play it.
Same. I'm also going to give this a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And if you're interested in more on this, I know one of our coworkers in LA named Akeem did a video on this and why he's more excited for Digimon Survive over Sword and Shield. This was produced like 6 months ago or so, but it's a really great video. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. And next we have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, TBD 2020. And this is a remake of the Wii version. And I mean, or is it the 3DS version?
If it was
Technically.
coming, oh, no, it's got to go back to the console code, right?
Yeah,
But it's upgraded.
it is.
Yeah. But
And
significantly.
will run much better than on the DS. For me, this depends on when it's coming out. If it's coming out in the thick of things in November, it's going to be a 6 for me. If it's coming out in a quieter month, like in the summer, it's 8 or 9 for me because it's a really great game. I feel like I didn't give it its due when it first came out, and I wanted to play more. And
Same.
I'm looking forward to playing this on the go. This is going to be great.
Yeah, when this got announced, I feel like this show specifically was kind of like, oh, that's cool. And then I remember reading the audience's response. We're like, what? This is like the biggest news. And so on behalf of them, I'm going to give this one a shot this year because I've been like
great
itching for like a
series.
big RPG like this. So I'm totally into it. But I'm with you. The timing has to be proper here because if they drop this thing in the middle of 15 other big things that I'm into, then it's dead.
That's been traditionally my issue with the Xenoblade games. They always come out in the thick of like a Red Dead Redemption launching against it, and so they get overshadowed. But they're really, really good games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking like we have that gap between what is it, April and March that we just looked at, but isn't Cyberpunk coming out around that time?
Cyberpunk comes out, I believe, April 15th. If we
Yeah.
don't. Middle of April.
Please don't put that.
So
yeah.
don't
And then
do
Marvel's
that.
Avengers comes out May 15th, I think, in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we also have March just is a crazy month full of not only Animal Crossing,
Please
but
put it,
Final
park
Fantasy
it in
VII
May.
remake
Let's
and
put
all
this
sorts
in
of
May.
things.
Come on.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. March, April, and then drifting into May is just, it's basically a second November this year. It's
Right.
just an insane amount
The
of launch.
the Xenoblade game that came to Switch was, and this is because I'm a town simpleton, but was a tick too complicated for me in terms of the like stacking RPG combat systems.
Oh.
It lost me. Like I remember I previewed it with Andrew Goldfarb at Gamescom, and I was like completely overwhelmed. And then I went to play it at home, and I was like, "This is a lot." And I understand like if you stick with it, you get it. I
Yep.
just didn't have the patience for it. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just understandable.
I hope this one's a little bit toned down.
Echoing what you guys said, this is conceptually an 8 or 9 for me because it's not super easy to play the original, and this looks like a really cool graphical upgrade. But yeah, it's realistically, I don't know if I'm going to have the time to devote to it. It just depends on the timing of everything.
I regret missing the original. I would like to play it. I think I would like it. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10 on my
I
excitement scale.
definitely think you'd love this.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard
Got
that
the kind of scope and scale that you like in Monsters.
And it's one of those cool situations for people who missed it, where if you've played Smash Bros, like the Fire Emblem characters coming to Smash Bros before Fire Emblem came out in the US.
Yeah.
You played Smash Bros and you know Shulk, but you never played Xenoblade. Now you can. You know that character.
I had his amiibo.
Yeah.
Ad?
I put it in a box.
Nobody puts Shulk
My
in a
kid
box.
plays with it. She doesn't know who it is either. So we're
also
on the same
TBD,
page.
2020 is Little Nightmares 2, which is sequel to 2017 Little Nightmares. 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Ooh.
8 for me.
Yeah, it's an 8 for me too.
I'm really excited about this. I love the art style and the creativity and the vibe, and I'd like to play this, please.
I'm just pleased that this weird horror indie platformer is getting a sequel. I think that's very, very cool to see when kind of unexpected hits like that find success enough to do this sort of thing. I'm very excited to see what the sequel's like.
Yeah, I'll say 6.
Okay.
And I know you called it a horror, but it's not like that scary.
No,
right?
it's not proper horror like Amnesia or something like that. It's creepy.
It's a little nightmare, not a big one.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good way to put it.
Oh,
but
man.
you know what is a big nightmare is Deadly Premonition 2: A Blessing to Disguise, which is a sequel to the original Deadly Premonition, and it's going to be exclusive to Switch, which is actually very big.
Maybe.
Yeah?
That's
is
a
anyone
weird
excited?
game.
So this is the thing. I think my score for this one in terms of excitement is NA. It's like I never played the first one, and I feel like if I never played the first one, there's absolutely no way I can pass judgment on whether I should be excited or not.
But from what you know about this game, like how excited are you? Because I'm like a 3 out of 10 excited.
What I'm excited about is that Swery is still being given money to make weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I can agree with
This
that.
is a game designer who every one of the games that he's made is loved by the people who love it, are generally really fun, and are also generally sort of broken in weird ways. And that's just kind of his style. And like, he makes really cool, innovative, strange, unexpected stuff every single time, even if they've got problems. And so, like, I'm just excited to see whatever he does.
Okay.
But I don't have any personal
But you don't
connection to Deadly
you
Premonition
don't want
as
to
a
play it
series.
yourself.
Well, I don't know.
You're excited on behalf of other people.
I guess so. Yeah.
No,
that's
I
kind of what
agree.
it is.
It's too spooky for me. I won't play it. I'm like,
Really?
yeah.
I played the last one when it came to Switch, actually, and it's spooky but way goofier, slapstick, stupid.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's intentional than it is actually scary. Part of
janky.
it's janky, and part of it is it's kind of old. It's a little wonky, but I think because of that, like that low poly thing has like a weird ability to kind of simultaneously make me crack up but also scare me at the same time. Like there are like low poly monsters will creep out of the shadows and jump at you, and you're like, that's actually terrifying, but I'm scared and I'm laughing at myself for being scared at this. Like, yeah, I think this could go a number of ways. I'm interested in it, and just like you, Tom, I'm pretty excited that he's actually being able to make this weird game.
Yeah,
I will say 7.
A super fast shout out if anybody likes puzzly platformy type of things, play The Missing, because this is another Swery game that is criminally underrated from I think last year, maybe the year before, that is very, very good.
Yep.
I think I'll give this one a 5 out of 10 again, and I probably won't play it, but maybe for Halloween. But I'm excited for other people to get to play it because I like people being able to make cult sequels to things like this. What about Pear? What did you give it?
3.
3? Okay.
Like
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just not the type of genre that I'm clamoring for right now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if it's interesting. I'll definitely jump in.
And next we have Bravely Default 2, which is a sequel to the 2012 3DS RPG, which I bought the collector's edition of and then never opened. So
Which one? Bravely Second or
no, the original.
okay, the
Bravely Default.
Bravely Default.
So is Bravely Second not Bravely Default 2 then?
No.
And this is not Bravely
Well,
Default 3.
I mean,
RPG.
we can
Thanks, Square.
Square Enix. We can all hope that this game gets a name change because Bravely Default is one of the worst games for a role-playing game ever.
Or worst
Worst
names.
names?
Worst names. It's actually a good game. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I just this is one of the examples of nonsense titles that we get with JRPGs where it's like you are actively hurting the appeal of this title.
Yeah.
There's nothing exciting about defaulting.
No.
But the game is cool.
But also,
at least the
and
original
also
is very, very good.
It also doesn't sound like it's a direct sequel anyway.
No.
So like, why give it the sequel number to scare people off?
So hopefully it's like Octopath Traveler where it will come not like Octopath Traveler being a great name for a game either. Jesus, sorry, seriously, like stop it. But I'm hoping that they'll go a little bit of a different direction. I'm not a huge fan of the Bravely Default art style. But the games are really fun, and I love kind of classic RPGs like this. I'm really looking forward to me. It's an 8 for me on the anticipation meter.
I'll say 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm right around there too.
I might play it depending on how other people.
I feel about like, and just art style wise, like you know how like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles has a certain look to it. Versus a Final Fantasy game, I'm more of a Final Fantasy guy than a Crystal Chronicles guy when it comes to look and art style. And it's the same with FF8 and with FF9. I enjoy that kind of throwback look, but I kind of moved on.
Do you remember when they announced that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was coming to the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
And then
that
we've
was
never
cool.
heard of it again. That might be coming this year, along with a couple of other titles.
That's a good game too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's my
Nice
favorite
multiplayer.
Final Fantasy game.
So there is this big
Must
list
play more
we
Final
have
Fantasy.
on our sheets. No, it's a good game. It's fun.
I just couldn't tell if that was a joke or
No, it really is. I put like 100 hours into that game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I loved it as a kid. The worst part about Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was the GBA link.
Yeah, it was
The fact that you-
cumbersome to hook up.
The fact that you needed 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 link cables in order to play multiplayer.
Can
and
I
if
tell you?
one of them ran out of battery, your game is done.
So my friends and I figured out a way to have them not run out of batteries.
What?
You used a GameCube with the Game Boy player hooked up to its own television and tricked your primary GameCube into thinking that it was a GBA. Oh. So my friends would bring over GameCubes, and we had like a bunch of CRT TVs, and so I played Crystal Chronicles like a LAN party.
That sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, it was great. That's why it's my
Pretty
favorite.
good. Okay. Fine.
So Crystal Chronicles, along with a ton of other games, they don't have set dates, but they might be coming out this year. Let's not give these a score. Let's just go through them real quick. Persona 5 Scramble is coming out to Japan on February 20th, but we have no idea if it's ever coming out anywhere else.
You want to just give number rating super fast?
Go for it.
5.
1.
10.
I love Persona 5. I'm not that excited about this.
6.
Super excited.
Shin Megami Tensei 5. Like, we heard about this forever ago, like 4 years ago, and then we've never heard of it again. Maybe that's coming out this
6
year.
because I haven't heard anything.
1
Yeah.
because I'm not familiar with this series.
Yeah.
It's 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.
I'm
It's a
interested.
it's a good RPG series.
I really like Persona. I really like Devil Survivor. I like those the Shin Megami Tensei spin-offs I really enjoy, so maybe. Panzer Dragoon remake. I think they're delaying this after getting feedback from people.
4 based on what I played.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
We played it at Gamescom, and it was just not where it needed to be.
Yeah.
You were there, right?
It was just not. It just wasn't exciting. I really like Panzer Dragoon and like it's Star Fox with dragons, right? But it just wasn't exciting to play at all.
Yeah.
But it
interesting.
was also super early. I just think they showed it too early, so maybe it'll turn out like a fun Star Fox game without the need to look at 2 screens at the same time.
Yeah, totally. I used to really dig this franchise, so I'd be really happy if they clean this thing up a little bit and made it a little snappier.
Yeah.
It just felt really slow and sluggish. So yeah, 4.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
That's fair.
I have hopes for it. Next is Doom Eternal. It's set to come out on March 20th for other platforms. We know it's coming out for Switch, but we don't know when, but maybe this year.
8 Switch, 9 other platforms.
I'm gonna say 9 Switch, 1 other platforms.
What?
Because it comes out on other platforms on the same day as Animal Crossing, which is a 15 out of 10.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Okay, that's like it's all about the context.
It keeps going up.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
What better to relax between demon killing than planting some pineapple trees?
That's true.
Or your
That is
friends. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. I'm just not that interested. Maybe I should be. Maybe I should be interested.
You're going to be
in
busy
Doom.
that day.
I will be.
I'm the
Playing
exact same
Animal
as Pear. 8 on Switch, 9 on others.
Yeah. See, Super Meat Boy Forever was delayed from 2019, so maybe it's coming out now.
It was supposed to come out a while ago.
Yeah.
So who knows when it's going to come out? Probably this year, maybe. Who knows?
I don't know if I have the sort of gluttony for that level of intense platforming in the same way I used to. I feel like I played a bunch of those games and I really dug them. But ultimately, I defer back to like the sort of Super Mario Brothers style platforming.
I have fatigue and also
Yeah.
endless runner fatigue. It'd be a 5 for me.
Yeah.
And
Because the game, they're well designed.
Yes.
They're so precise and smart and devious. But that's why it's not a 1. But I'm a little tired.
The memorization based platforming, like pixel perfect, I just like it kind of grates on me after a while.
Here comes the 10.
I love it. No, I mean, that is my jam, that type of platforming. But I'm probably going to give this one like an 8. What I've played has been really exciting for me, but I question whether I will be into the endless runner aspect of it for as long as I was into level-based Super Meat Boy. But it's not just an endless runner. It's not randomized. There's a lot of misconceptions about this game that I think it conquers. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. I'm not super into platformers. They have to do something really interesting and cool for me to want to do them.
That's right.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm happy for those of you who like platformers and Super Meat Boy though. What did I do?
Break it.
I'm just breaking things over here. It's fine. And next is Hollow Knight Silk Song, which
1
no
out
one
of
on the
10.
panel is interested in all.
What are you looking at me for, Brian?
I want to know if you're going to break the scale like I did.
We're
Brian,
just
what are you looking
trolling.
for?
I want to know if you'll go higher than 15.
You went
Tom.
64.
Hollow
Not
Knight Silk Song.
Yeah. So real quick, we don't have any date on this.
No.
This one is super speculative.
It's a maybe 2020, perhaps.
They haven't even said maybe 2020. They said in a Nintendo Direct a while ago, coming soon, and then everything else has just said TBD. We don't even have a year for this, but it was playable in some capacity at E3 last year.
Ooh.
So there's a chance that it could come out this year.
So it exists.
It exists.
And
right?
what is it
it's
out of
not this
10?
ethereal concept. Like a 3,000.
Okay.
I am really excited for a lot of games this year, but man, if Silksong came out this year, I would. Like Dan knows that like if that game comes, like my schedule is clearing. Like that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm very very excited for this.
It's a 8 on my scale because I like that they added color.
It had color. It
was
Blue. It had blue.
Likewise,
Here's the
tired
thing-
of the drab scale shadowy game.
Here's the thing that anybody who's played Hollow Knight all the way through will agree with me, Mark. Anybody who thinks that Hollow Knight doesn't have color never got past the first area.
That's not true. I wrote those
no, Pear.
stupid taxi monsters and all of that.
I don't know, Pear.
It was just muted colors. It was muted.
They did. I do agree though that
And
this
this looks more colorful.
They have managed to make this a lot more vibrant in without sacrificing the sort of like gloomy aesthetic, which I think is very very
I like the art style. I like bugs.
Maybe you are 4 years old.
Like
Pear IGN.
I like turtles.
How is that a positive?
I've never heard somebody say I like bugs in the tone of voice of having a gun to their head.
I like
Yeah.
That
bugs.
was very weird to me.
I love bug taxis.
Oh man.
I think bird taxis are better, but maybe that's just me.
I agree.
Show me
What's
the
your
bird
score,
taxi.
Whiteys?
You've played Pokemon Sword and Shield.
No, but they don't show you the bird taxis. I'm very sad about
you
that.
get to the last area,
more
and then you'll see
cruel
the
to
bird
try and do it
taxis.
All right,
No.
fair enough. Fair enough.
4.
We
I'm not judging.
Oh, okay. It's not
we're-
working.
Did you hear? I gave it a 7, and Pear said you should be more cruel to Tom, so I gave it a 4.
He just doesn't. You can't hurt him.
I know that's not your deal. I'm fine with
same.
it. I'm
It should be my deal though, because I love those games. I love games like this. So maybe I will give this a shot at a 4.
I'm hoping because you gave me an excuse, you gave me a window to talk about Hollow Knight, so I'm doing it.
Oh, God.
I'm hoping that the sequel fixes one of the things that turns most people off of the
The
original.
lack of color, the whole.
Not just the lack
Brian,
of
what
color.
have you done?
The
Boring.
fact that the map is so cruel early on. You have no idea where you are.
Well,
you have to
get
buy
it.
the maps. You have to
Yeah.
map the regions. I hope that they smooth that whole early player experience out, and I think it'll get a lot more people on board with what's there.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna end this conversation with a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, Tom. Anyway, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh God.
This is another
5 billion.
This is
million.
another speculative one, right?
Yeah,
we
super
don't have any
speculative.
sort
We
of
have
date
no
on
idea.
This is a total guess, but if we were guessing, holiday 2020 is roughly 3.5 years after Breath of the Wild came out. They've got to compete with consoles that are coming out. It's not a crazy jump to say it could come out.
It looks
this
like
year.
they're using the same engine as well. So
Right.
We talked about the arms race. It's not a hardware arms race, but Nintendo is a software company, and they're going to have a big title next holiday season. They better do, because they want to highlight what's special about the Switch and games that you can only play on there. And since they probably won't have Mario Kart 9, which would be the greatest thing ever to put on the Switch because it would outsell everything. They gotta fast
or some
track.
DLC packs for
it's
Mario Party. Gosh.
Yeah, what happened to that one?
For me, it's a clear 10 out of 10 as far as anticipation goes. It's just like even just the trailer is so cool.
Yeah, I love when if you look at stuff like Majora's Mask and even Link's Awakening, these are games that sort of started out with the skeletal frame of something that came prior to it. Like for Link's Awakening, it was Link to the Past. They tried to port that. For Majora's Mask, they had finished Ocarina of Time, and they're like, let's get weird. I love when Nintendo gets weird with Zelda, and I think that this is going to give them plenty of room to do that because they have the foundation, they have the frame, everything's down. And I think for this game, they can go very strange, bring in a bunch of bizarre new items and quests, go subterranean, do dungeons, all that kind of stuff. I cannot wait for this game.
Come on, Haunted Hyrule.
Tingle or bust.
10 out of 10. I'm also going to retcon my Rune Factory 5 score and give that a 10 out of 10 as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
The more I thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I really want to play
Man,
it.
like you already introduced re-reviewing to this new scale.
Yeah.
Anticipation.
So those are, and we also have under a super maybe / probably not is Bayonetta 3.
Platinum said recently that they have some news coming out very early in the year that they wanted to release last year, but they either forgot
So
or
super
got
maybe
fired.
probably yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Maybe.
secret Wii U ports that are being discussed.
Yes.
One of them is a 9 out of 10 for me, and one of them is more of a 6 out of 10
That's just
for me.
mean. That's just mean. You
Yeah,
can't say
What?
What? Come on.
Like the
So we can guess based on all of his other scores and based on what he just said. We can guess. We can make an educated guess on what these two
I
games are.
really liked what Nintendo did with their take on real-time strategy games.
Okay.
Battalion Wars?
Battalion Wars it is.
Surprising
like,
you were greeted
Pikmin?
with deafening silence for saying that.
So are there any games out this week that we really need to talk about? We have like 2 minutes left, Tom.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
The Regions of Ruin is really, really cool.
Okay.
That's one of the ones that came out this year. So I'll do this really fast. This came out over the holiday break. Regions of Ruin is a very cool, like, platformy, adventure-y game with town-building stuff where you're a dwarf. That's a neat one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the main one. I think that's the main one.
Like when
Should I
I
buy
look
it?
at the eShop right now, my eyes kind of glaze over.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
We've been gone for 2 weeks. I went back and looked through the last 2 weeks and this week, and there's not a ton of really, really notable stuff. The Deponia games are point-and-click adventure games that I think all 4 are now on Switch, so if you're into point-and-click adventures, check those out.
Yeah, no, if 2020 is a
there's not a
party,
lot.
the eShop feels like when you get there super early and like there's just like one guy and a dog and there's like a couple of snacks and they're setting up. It's pretty it's pretty bare bones for brand new releases and stuff like that, but
Not that
good stuff
nothing
coming.
good's
They'll
coming
get
out.
there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Enjoy the Calm Before the Storm, play last year's stuff.
Yeah.
And we have time for one question block question. And this is from Marcus. We'll get back to games we're playing next week. I assume you guys are playing some of The Witcher 3 because of the Witcher Netflix series and catching up on some old
I'm
games.
playing Oddworld.
Oddworld as well.
It's looking good on Switch.
Yeah?
Stranger's
It
Wrath.
looks really
It's
good.
looking really pretty.
Surprisingly good.
It runs like an ace. Is that
Yeah?
an expression you Americans use?
No, but you're foreign enough that you can lie to us and
thank
make
you.
us think that that's an expression that you
Well,
use.
don't paint devils to the walls, my friend. It's a cool game. It's like an older first/third person game with platforming and shooting, and it's got that Oddworld humor. And it like the Switch version looks really nice.
It really does.
I was really surprised to see it running, and
Runs like an ace, IGN.
yeah, it runs like an ace.
That's the
All
new
right.
scale.
So one question for question block from Marcus Cooper. Will Starlink end up on December's most sold games?
Wait, what? Starlink
Starlink was
Battle
on
for Alice?
Starlink, the Star Fox edition was on sale for $7 on Best Buy over the holiday.
Unfortunately, it won't.
I bought it.
Did you really?
It was $7.
I bought it for expensiveness. That game's good. It really
is
good. It's frustrating. The toy concept, like you could tell from the beginning, it wasn't going to work. Like nobody wants to collect Starship they don't know.
Yeah.
And attach it to the controller and have their friends laugh at them.
The Star Fox R-Wing one is awesome.
Anyway,
Definitely
if you haven't bought it yet and it's still on sale, you should absolutely buy it. It's a good game. It is unique and cool. I'm glad it exists. But I think Mario plus Rabbids actually is doing better because it got discounted and it's been hovering in the top 10 in the eShop.
Okay.
Like for like 2 weeks now. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So no, the answer is absolutely not. It will not break into the MPD and it's $7 and you should buy it.
Well, yeah. I mean, also $7 for a cool Star Fox figure, right?
Did you play it yet?
I haven't played it yet. It's in my box and it's just like sitting next to my TV.
Wait. It was $7 for the physical one?
Yes, for the physical one.
That's insane.
Yeah, that came with all the cool stuff and the figures.
That's incredible.
And free shipping.
My goodness.
Wow.
It's like I couldn't
buy that.
I couldn't not do it. It showed up and
If you have a passing interest in Star Fox, buy that.
yeah. So
It's the best Star Fox.
It
game
is
in a while.
better than
It
Star
is.
Fox on the Switch.
that's my second.
You mean on the Wii U?
On the Wii.
Well,
Oh, that game.
well, unfortunately, that is about all the time we have left for this week. I'm sorry for the rushed ending. We had so many games to talk about. Hopefully, we can get back to a more normal structure next week.
Keep
and
all
talk
the
about
questions.
games we're
Maybe we'll do a
playing.
question block edition.
Yeah, we'll do a question block edition next week.
Oh, no, there was a Pokemon Direct. So
No,
it'll be
it's fine.
90 minutes of
All right, look.
stats on...
No. Okay. Look, everyone in the
Probably
comments, let me
Gob.
know if you want me to go in depth on Pokemon next
Winky
week. I know
Woo.
the answer will be no, but just let me know.
Tankachu.
But that's it.
Hankachu.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to Nintendo Voice Chat. You can watch or listen to us every Thursday at 3 p.m.
Banana Sluggy-o.
Pacific time.
Keep going.
What were you
in her
saying?
tracks.
I was naming Pokemon.
Those are none of those were Pokemon names.
Nobody would ever know.
It's
They're like
fine.
thousands
Deep
of
breaths,
them.
everyone.
For more on Pokemon and Nintendo and everything else, you're already in the right place. Nintendo Voice Chat, not IGN, but also IGN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Come
this
back
is
next
the
week.
place?
This is the place.
What can you do?
What
at
can you
this
do
place?
at this place?
Get Nintendo news.
Get
No,
the
but-
thing!